And I'm back here in the Fandom Zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in all of YouTube entertainment today. And today we will be talking about a film that I saw, Welcome to January, Where Films Go to Die, the 355. It stars Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o. I believe that's how you say her name. Sorry if I messed that up. And Penélope, Cruz, and then a bunch of two other females in this that I really didn't care about. They had very little stuff in the movie. Anyways, so I realized my last film, I did not rate it. It was a 2021 film. So back to my normal rating system, 1 being the worst movie in Earth's history, 10 being the greatest film Zod has ever witnessed. And of course, just to make it clear, 5 I consider the middle of the road, 6, 7, and 8 aren't bad, they're just average. It's really like 8, 9, and 10 where the movie stands out to me as something special. 355. So here's the thing. A lot of people probably did not want to see this because how this film is marketed gives the appearance of being woke, as they say. And look, I'm not going to say this doesn't have elements of very forced female empowerment bullshit that they have been normally doing since 2016. I will say it's not as egregious as you might think. It wasn't really that in your face. There were a couple of scenes where I rolled my eyes, but for the most part, this film is not a bad film because it's a woke. This film is a bad film because it feels about 10 years too late. What I mean by that is a lot of elements from this film borrow from movies that have done this concept way better. So, for instance, if someone was to ask me to describe this, a lot of people have said, oh, it's a Charlie's Angels. No, I saw that piece of shit film. It is nothing like Charlie's Angels. There is actually very good acting. All of the female leads are pretty well-known, good actresses. It's not on the level of Charlie's Angel. I would put it more towards Jason Bourne mashed with Ocean's 11. Or, if you want to be politically correct, Ocean's 12. This movie fails because I feel like the concept it's going for is about 10 years too late. As I stated before, this stuff has been done before. It is the normal spy, cliche-heavy film. So, the 355 is about these women from different agencies. This device that gets stolen can hack literally into everything, which by itself doesn't really make sense, but clearly it's the MacGuffin of the story. And one of the agents, played by Jessica Chastain, she is betrayed, and her husband, or boyfriend, I guess, is murdered. So she goes out to find the culprits and unravels a mystery about the government. As always, the government covering up and hiding secrets. Now, the thing I didn't mind about this is the politics were very even as far as the espionage side of things. As you go through the movie, you find out that various governments are in this cover-up for this device, and that there's a lot more behind the whole gist of the story. My main problem with this film is a problem I've stated before about movies in this new era. This movie does not need to be 2 hours long. I got about an hour and a half into this film, and I was like, there's a really exciting scene, and you believe it's the end of the film, but the movie just keeps going and going and going and going. This film suffers from the time and a couple of story element parts that don't mesh very well. Now, Lupita Nyong'o is probably the standout in this movie, and Jessica Chastain is okay. Penélope Cruz, she was alright, but not as big into the story as I thought she would be. Kind of comes in when this team is formed, very last minute kind of a deal. So my pros is the action scenes are very competently shot. They're very good. You could tell that the actress is trained for this. There's not a lot of quick cuts. There is a lot of shaky cam, and I can't stand that because you could tell they connect with their blows, but because the camera is jarring around, it's very hard, especially in one scene when the lights go out, to fucking tell what's going on in the movie. I had no clue who was shooting who and what was happening, and I think that's the problem with a lot of this movie, is that the really good scenes are buried in very poor choices, editing and filming-wise. This movie has a very generic premise, so it has to make up for that with the action, and unfortunately, at times, the really good action scenes are hard to see. The other thing that really ruins this for me is there's a couple of fights where I just couldn't buy it. Like, look, there are ways a 300-pound big, like, NSA-trained operative could go toe-to-toe with this, like, 120-pound female. I mean, there's practical ways to shoot the fight, but there's a straight-up one fight scene where she, like, beats the crap out of this guy, where realistically she should not have won that fight. I'm not saying it's possible, but I'm saying that there's no environmental use to justify, she just brute strengths it. And given that they're both on the same skill level, I don't buy them winning the fight. And there's a couple of scenes like that. I think the highlight for me was when Lupita's family gets kidnapped. She's a very good actress. And mark my words, as far as females go, and this is no joke, I think she's seriously going to be like the Denzel Washington of females, because any movie I see her in, she's always the best part of the film. And in this movie, she is hands down the most convincing and probably the best out of the four women in this film. Jessica Chastain's okay. They try to do the thing they do with the sassy, no-nonsense kind of thing, and she portrays the attitude pretty well, and there is a soft side to her when her boyfriend is murdered, where she gets to show a good range of emotions. I will say she's better than Dark Phoenix. They really allow her to hit her range as far as acting goes. All in all, this movie was just too long, and the fight scenes were really hard to see. They were well choreographed, but terribly shot. And unfortunately, when you have a spy movie where the spy story is generic and you've seen it 1,000 times, and the action scenes are hard to make out, then really you don't have anything to enjoy in this movie. So what do I think of this film? I think this film is not terrible because it's woke. I think this movie is terrible because of the decisions they made as far as the movie goes. It's shot very shaky, and it is very poorly edited in certain parts, and there is some very unbelievable moments even for the genre. So overall, I would give this movie a 5 out of 10. I don't think it's low in like the 1, 2, 3s, 4s. It's not a trash movie. It's a very average film. It doesn't do anything special and unique. It doesn't break itself out of the pack with anything we haven't seen. It's just another, basically, Jason Bourne ripoff. And that's a shame, because they had a cast to make this movie really stand out. And I knew it wasn't going to be a film, because clearly they had no faith in this movie, because not only did they release it by Spider-Man No Way Home, but they also released it in January, where movies go to die. So in the comments below, let me know, did anyone else bother watching this film besides me? And if so, what did you think about it? And also, what is your favorite spy thriller? Like, do you like Jason Bourne? Do you like James Bond? Do you like Tom Clancy movies like Clear and Present Danger and all of those? Also, please don't forget, do all of the YouTube things like share, subscribe, all of that jazz. Follow me on Twitter And as always, remember the only rule here in the Phantom car: kneel before side.